everybody! Hello to everybody. How are we all doing? How are we all feeling? How are we all vibing? It is Monday's Dee Love Talk once again, and I'm really excited. I hope everybody is really well. We're all, excited about, what is happening in our beautiful world at the moment. Exciting times ahead for us as well. Great announcements. Restrictions are pretty much nearly there, everybody, which is amazing here in Melbourne. Hello to everybody out there. Hope we're all doing amazingly and you're all so well. And welcome to my beautiful broadcast program, which is on every Monday, Dee Love Talk. Hi everybody. Today we're going to talk about an awesome topic because every Monday we talk about a beautiful love topic. And today we're going to talk about when is the perfect time for you to move in with your significant other? When is the right time? When should be the applicable time that you move in with that beautiful person you seem to be so in love with and want to maybe spend the rest of your life with? Because sometimes we realize after a while that, it's time. There comes a point in our lives where we're ready to make that next phase, that next step in our lives, because it is so important, Hey, Georgia. So that's what we're talking about today, because it dawned on me, and there have been so many other people that, take this step, they in the next step of their relationship, which is really important. And years ago, there were heaps of stories, and it was a taboo to move in with somebody before you were actually married. Obviously, times have changed now. Generations have changed. People have changed as well, and now it's the time where, they make those decisions because, it was, such a stigma, such a taboo. Oh my God, they're going to move in with each other. What's going on? You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, they're going to actually, whereas now it's normal because the divorce rate as well is so high. Maybe that was an add-on, that was my mum's add-on, should I say, because years and years ago, she's a smart lady too. Years and years ago, she always taught me that, very modern type of thinking anyway. She was always saying, if you do decide to get married or move in, or be with somebody, let's just say if you're going to take the next step in your relationship, if you fall in love and you want to get married to somebody or whatever, right? Don't get married straight away. Try out the goods, see how the goods are, because in many cases, so many people move in with somebody and they don't even know if they actually get along. And I think it's a really smart thing, like a smart way of, figuring out if, you really do want to spend the rest of your life with somebody or, love that person as much as you think you do. Because you might not even know them and they might be different when you live with them, remember, because you're not with them 24/7, as we say. So it was a very smart, thinking 99 from my mother, and, what makes you think that, if you're gonna basically want to marry them, how do you know if you, get married? If you get married to these people, how are you even going to know them? So it's a way of understanding each other as well, yeah? So once you understand that person, it's a lot easier to, in regards to getting to know that person, sometimes you just know, I guess. But most of the time, it's a great way of starting a foundation, of understanding each other, of seeing what, their likes are, their dislikes are, what makes them tick, and if you agree with those things, and if those types of things are going to be those things that are going to resonate with you, if it's going to make that click, if it's going to, put the puzzle together, and if it's going to come together. So for me, that's what I think. But in saying that, there are a lot of people that tend to move in because they are, hey Taz, they are comfortable, they're ready, a lot of, people and my friends, let's just say, if they just know they're ready to make that specific decision, emotionally speaking, mentally, and all of the above. And, let's just say physically, they go for it. They get into that, position, and they delve into that. So that's what it's all about. If you're comfortable physically, emotionally, whatever you want, it's okay, it's whenever you're ready. Because it's daunting. It's not a type of topic where you say, oh, I'm going to do it straight away and let's just go for it. It's you're leaving your whole life behind in somewhat sense, right? Of being by yourself in your own sort of sanctuary, or your place where you call home, to go and start a new home with somebody else and start a new life with somebody else, which is beautiful. It's beautiful, but it really just depends if, you want to actually take those next steps and leave not behind exactly yourself, but leave behind what you had, manifested for yourself and starting to manifest with somebody else, Hey, Trish! Hi to everybody on Instagram as well, and to Facebook. Say hello, whoever's on here. I can see all of you. Say hello, everybody. I love seeing your waves and your beautiful comments. You guys rock my world. So it's all about, seeing where, the next step is going to take us with somebody, and how it's going to help us throughout our journey, because it is part of leaving behind our comfort zone and basically what we're used to and making it our own, like leaving behind what we have built, let's just say, in our own world, and creating a new one with the person that we maybe do want to spend the rest of our lives with, like for me, I lived with my partner for a very long time. But obviously it didn't work out because he did pass away, and many of you know, it was quite a tragedy for me. But the best thing that I ever did was move in with him, because I was able to experience him on a different level. And that's what made me so grateful and so happy, and it made me like discover the person that, he was. And something really strange happened today as well. Usually things just, around this topic as well, around the topic of love and relationships, I remember a while back, before, hey Johnny, hey Mary, hey guys. So I remember like ages ago, I had, it happened before Johnny had passed away. It's crazy, this story, but it all eventuates and it all comes together. It all, connects. And I had deleted these messages that we had between each other, but it was a mistake. And all of a sudden today, this is really crazy because this is a big announcement for me as well. They came back. It's crazy. Hey son, I miss you. They came back. The messages magically appeared or something. It's crazy. Isn't it crazy? And they reminded me, not that I had forgotten what type of person I was with or I was living with, but they reminded me of who I chose and who I wanted to be with. And they brought up so many beautiful memories. I was like, this is crazy. Like, how did these messages just come out of nowhere? Like, they've just come. But maybe it was the fact that, people, even the people that pass on, like in relationships, they come back to remind you that they're there and they're always going to be there for you. And I don't doubt that anyway, because it always was anyway. But how beautiful is it? Because it was a reminder. It reminds you. And when you get in a relationship and when you're with somebody or you're, living with them, there are so many magical things that happen because you don't actually experience them until you're with the person. It's like the quote that I put up as well for this post. It's to say, I pretty much wish for the day that I don't have to turn around and say, you know what, it's getting late, I need to go. More like, it's getting late, let's go to bed together, and I know many of you that have been in relationships or are in relationships are in this position at the moment because you go over to your partner's house or whatever, and you're like, oh shit, it's getting late. Oh, did I just use the S word? I did, didn't I? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. So, saying, oh my God, goodness, sugar. God, this is like a comic thing, like a comedian thing. I'm so sorry, everyone. I love you so much. You know me, my humor. So, you say, oh God, I've got to get home and like it's time. I can't. And you're like, oh, it's time. I need to, go and do what I have to do. Like, I've got work in the morning. Whereas imagine where it was, I've just got to go to bed and I can stay with my partner and we can sleep in the same bed, like that's the exciting part of things because you're starting a new journey, and that's why I say it's so important because it's a new phase in your life and it's a new part of your life that you haven't yet experienced, but eventually you do because it is part of love and it's part of a relationship sphere and it's so beautiful, And when we get there, like those few steps actually evaluate and emphasize that relationship and make you understand why it's so important, to be with that person, and if you want to be with that person, in that way, like you want to move out and stuff. But so many things are discovered, like you might not know that this, person, you might have somewhat, he might or she might, bring out something that, hasn't, been discussed before, even though you're together for so long. Because as you go and as our parents, right, have grown older, they've learned so much more about one another, especially, if the person's a good cook or something, as you go, you're able to learn so much more about yourselves and each other because you're not able to, because you're not in that position where you see the aspects, the character, the character, but on the surface form, not internally, not what's actually happening. So you're able to delve in and go into there and dissect what this person is really about, And that's why I think it is so important to be with somebody on a level where you actually move out with them. So moving out with somebody is very important, but it depends on the timing of how you're feeling. If you're ready to go to the next step, and you'd know that because you would both, talk about that as well. That's even like getting married, let's just say. It would be so hard. That's what we should talk about, actually. That's a really good topic. So when is the right time to get married? Oh, that's good. Or when should he ask you? Or when should she? Oh, who should ask? Oh, that would be an amazing topic, actually. If my marketing manager's hearing, I'm going to do one of those ones. So, because it is. It's all part of the next step in a phase of a relationship. And it's so, so important. Because once we actually get to that stage, we are ready, and we're ready again to be in love and, not to be in love, to be with somebody on a different level because they're all life choices, but they're also beautiful as well. And it's part of the journey, and I agree that you should live with the person before you actually move in with them because I think it's a modern way of looking at things. As I said, it's a little bit more realistic. You're able to, really get to know the person, by yourselves as well. So it's different. Sometimes it's harder because when you live with parents, let's just say if you're living with parents and you're living together, not to say that they're not supportive or they're not going to be there, but sometimes you need your own space. That's with anything anyway. You should always give your own space, especially within a relationship. You should always separate that, And I remember there was an episode where Kerry Bradshaw, Sex and the City, of course I'm going to bring this up, and Aiden had first moved in together. And she somewhat felt quite displaced because she didn't have her own space. She had basically been bombarded with all of his stuff in the actual apartment. And that really affected her because it was as though she was losing somewhat of herself. But in reality, you're not really losing yourself. You're losing the not independence, but the form of you that once was that single person. So that familiarity. Yeah, there we go. Familiarity. Yeah, let's say it's the Wogified thing coming out. Sonia, I'm telling you, Wogified. So it's that type of thing where you're saying, "Oh God, like I'm losing." You know, it's part of being scared because it's part of fearing like that. The next step is going to be marriage, or is going to go to the next sort of. So it's unfamiliar waters, but in saying that though, if you're ready for it, why not? And there's nothing wrong with feeling that way. That's where you take it step by step, baby steps. Everything in life is, has baby steps. Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes a long time in order to put the building blocks into perspective and onto a foundation in order for it to become a beautiful empire, yeah? So, very wogified, bad, I know. I don't know what's going on with my familiarity. I can't even say it, even if somebody asks me again. Oh, goodness. And I'm a journalist. What is going on? In saying that, though, it was as though he was moving into her world. So we give that person that extra bit of our lives. So that's why I'm saying if you're not, ready for that, or if it's not what you're after, take a step back and say, what, I'm going to wait a little bit, and you can talk to your partner or communicate the message. Communication is number one. If you don't have that in your relationship, the relationship is nada, gone, right? Always communicate, because what you're thinking is different to what they're thinking. Always, always, always have that on your mind, because it is such an important thing to have as part of a relationship, right? So she had her shoes everywhere and he had his whatever everywhere, and it really affected her. So what they did was, which I really liked, was they separated in a sense where, not separated from each other, but they had a room that was pretty much designated to be by themselves. So it was, I think it was like either a sheet or a curtain of somewhat, and it was see-through. And she then said, you know what, I need my space, I need 5 minutes, I need 10 minutes, I need an hour to be by myself in order to really enjoy her company. Because if you don't enjoy your company, no one's going to enjoy you, right? They're not even going to enjoy your company because you don't enjoy your company. So how will somebody else enjoy your company? Do you know what I mean? So it's about self-love as well. When you're ready, emotionally, mentally, and physically, then you're ready to move in with your significant other. Or if you feel like you're already ready and you just know, reach for the stars. Take the next train out of here, now that we can, hopefully. And do that, take that next step, because it is what you really want and what you're ready for, So that's what today's topic is about, being able to, share yourself with somebody and be with someone on that deep level, because it's the next step, it's the next phase. It's really understanding their character and who they are. Because if you don't understand who they are or who you want to become with this person, they obviously are exceptional and they are going to compliment you and bring the best out of you, because that's what partners are supposed to do. And that's how they tick the boxes, and you're able to understand and say, you know what? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, all my boxes are ticked. We're done. Let's do this. So, yeah. Anyway, enough from me. We are finished tonight. Finito topeko. Thank you everybody for joining me tonight. You've been fabulous and beautiful as always for every week. Thank you for your love and support every week. Thank you for all your beautiful messages. Thank you for consistently contacting us and letting us know that we are kicking goals, because we're doing it all together. That's how we feel here at What Dee Thinks. We're all in this together as a dynamic D determinator division. God, that was good, right? It's a D thing. So I'm really excited. And I'm so excited that I'm taking this journey with such wonderful people who are consistently there for me and connecting with me and supporting me, because you guys mean so much to me. I want you to know that, yeah? I will see everybody again on what? Dee Talk Live Thursdays. It's going to be a pretty interesting topic as well. So it's something you don't want to miss. And I'm telling you this because there's a big story behind it. And it's something that we really need to all do because it's quite important. And it only dawned on me when it happened to me. So on that note, I'll leave you guys with that. Thank you so much. Love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Dee Talk Live. Bye, everybody. Love you very much.